wanted to show you this right here. I got down, you know, feeling around in here, and there's definitely parts and pieces down in here of the timing guide that was on this side over here. So I'm gonna have to drop the oil pan, clean the oil pan out. I mean, I was gonna do that anyway, so all this milky stuff in there is gonna have to come out, but now I'm gonna be expecting to dig out plastic pieces as well, and inspect the crank and bearings to make sure that there's not pieces of this up in there and that we're gonna have any problems with this thing running. So I'll be back later. These are the studs that held in the timing chain guide. You can see this one is really rubbed deep. I mean, that's what the timing chain was actually running on. It's these two studs. That's all that was keeping that timing chain on. And that truck ran and drove just fine. Just unbelievable. KA24E. One of the best engines Nissan ever made. Arguably, I guess. Not everybody believes that. Alright, I had to get some help getting this head on. I couldn't video it because it just was too hard. It's not too heavy, it's just too awkward. You know, to try and get everything lined up. So it really takes two people to really get it lined up good. You can see this is the new timing chain guide. You can see part of it's metal. I'm assuming that the original ones were just all plastic because it's completely disintegrated. So, but that's what it should have looked like. I know this video quality isn't the best. I probably got grease over the screen, but I'll bring you back when I get a little bit further. Alright, here we are. Both timing chain guides on. Tensioners on. I haven't pulled the pin yet. The head's on. And everything's set in time right. So now we're going to button this thing up and hopefully hear this thing purr again. Haven't done a whole heck of a lot off of camera. I've kind of gotten all this stuff in the front bolted back on. I got the intake back on, that was a bear. It was hanging up on something, and no matter how hard I pushed, pulled, pried, whatever, it didn't want to go. I looked all around it with a flashlight, and I couldn't find anything in the world holding it up. What I ended up doing is taking a piece of wood and putting it up here and just kind of lightly tapping the other end of the wood. I had the wood here and I was tapping the other end of the wood and just ended up tapping this in place very lightly, and it worked great. Nothing else worked at all, so but that worked great. So I got the intake back on, started getting everything bolted back on, getting all the lines tied back in. So we're very close to being able to start this, but I still want to drop the oil pan and clean the oil pan out from all that sludge, that, you know, the water and oil mixture. So I need to get that out of there, get it all cleaned up real good. Clean up the crank and the bearings while I got the pan off, make sure there's nothing up in there. You know, get all the timing guide, make sure I get all those pieces out of there. So I'll bring you back when I get a little further. Alright, so I got the oil pan drop. And this is what I found. Beautiful sludge, which I expected. Alright. Anyway, I mean, it's thick, if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that or not. And up in there, if you can see that, is all the pieces of the timing guide that I'm missing. So it's gonna be some fun cleaning this thing out, getting all that stuff out. Once I get it cleaned out, we'll get it back on. Alright, I got this thing put back together enough to start it. I don't have any of the belts on yet, so I can't let it run for long. But I'm thinking that oil pump might be off a tooth and it's way down there. Now I have to take all these belts back off maybe to get to it. So I'm going to tighten this distributor down. I'm going to just tighten this distributor down real quick, and then I'm going to try and start it and see if we're even properly timed as far as the distributor gear, or if that's going to have to be pulled back out and moved a tooth or two, which I'm thinking it's going to, unfortunately. But be back in a minute.